What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over a theory that I have about how Eddie Thawne could be alive for The Flash Season 9. So obviously, guys, in The Flash Season 1, Eddie Thawne killed himself in order to erase the Reverse Flash from existence. But then obviously in Season 9, Episode 11, that being the last episode we saw of The Flash, he returned. He was revived. He is, still Eddie Thawne. So I have a theory in regard to how exactly that could be possible. Now, guys, my main theory here is that it's going to be either the blue crystal or the negative speed force that revived Eddie. That's, I think the main theory and one of the only possible theories that in regard to how he could be alive. Now, could he somehow have been revived by time travel? I guess that's possible. I don't really know how they would, pull that off, and that's why I think it's extremely unlikely that time travel's the reason for Eddie Thawne being alive again. But it's always a possibility on the show, time travel. So I guess we have to consider it. Now, with all this said, why is Eddie Thawne the one that was revived? Why was he revived? Now, we're just going to assume that, the blue crystal and the negative speed force was why Eddie Thawne was revived. Now, my theory in regard to why the negative speed force of the blue crystal wanted Eddie Thawne revived opposed to other people is that because he actually has a good motivation for becoming a villain. With Barry taking Iris from him after he sacrificed himself, all that, as we saw in the trailer for episode 12, he said, I could have had a whole life and now I don't have a whole life. He's sort of thinking, that Barry stole his life because, at first, like when he first got when he first got struck by lightning, and started having all these memory flashes of Eddie Thawne, he wasn't turning into a villain at all. He was just, confused in regard to what was happening to him. So I think, him seeing Barry, sort of steal his life, I think is going to be what, turns him into a villain in, episode 12, which is going to be really cool to see. I think that's why Eddie Thawne is, revived and, why he was chosen to be Cobalt Blue or, the next negative Speed Force avatar. So with that out of the way, the next question we have to ask is, if Eddie was revived with the sole purpose of being the next negative Speed Force avatar, being Cobalt Blue, why was he revived in the year 2049 without any memories, and why was he just given a new name as well? That's very, very interesting, I have to say. My first theory here is that obviously if he was revived in present day, people would know who he was, way easier than, compared to 2049. But still in 2049, the people at his job at Mercury Labs, they just thought he was, Malcolm Gilmore. They thought he was just some doctor, Malcolm Gilmore. But then he goes to CCPD in 2049, and everyone looks at him like he's Eddie Thawne, which really confuses me. I don't understand how nobody thinks he's Eddie Thawne at Mercury Labs, but then at CCPD, everyone thinks he's Eddie Thawne, which is very interesting right there. Now, I guess it's possible that the only places he could have gone since being revived is his house, which is for some reason Joe's house, and work, Mercury Labs. I guess that's definitely possible, which is why, it's possible that they might not recognize him at Mercury Labs. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to find out why he was revived in 2049. I would assume 2049 is the year he was revived in, just because I guess that people might not remember him as well. Like Iris is a lot older, Barry's a lot older in 2049. They're focused on their kids as well, and the Flash Museum and all that stuff. Barry and Iris probably completely forgot about Eddie in the year 2049, so they might not recognize him if they did see him. But then you have, present day Barry and Iris, which would definitely recognize Eddie, which is my theory in regard to why he was put in the year 2049. But the memories being wiped and the name change is a very interesting thing to me. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, yeah, I guess if he is in the future and he remembers that he's Eddie Thawne, he's going to want to go back to his time. He's going to want to go back to Iris, all that stuff. So I guess that does make sense right there in regard to why his memory was wiped. But yeah, he still does recover his memories nonetheless in episode 11. So he does remember that he's Eddie Thawne. And he does find his way to the present as well, as obviously we see him hug Barry in the trailer. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what goes on with this. But yeah, my theory overall is that Eddie Thawne was revived because he is a great motivation to become a villain. He was revived by the Blue Crystal because of that reason, and he was placed in the future because they want to space him out. They want to get him away from a lot of people that might recognize him, and they want him to, I guess, be undercover until he figures out his memories, figures out that he's Eddie Thawne. They're definitely going to have some explanation in regard to why Eddie doesn't have his memories. It could be related to the negative speed force in the blue crystal, or it could just be like a side effect that, the negative forces didn't see coming or something like that. I don't know, but nonetheless, it's really cool to have Eddie Thawne back and him somehow in the present in episode 12, which airs tomorrow, of course. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your thoughts on, how do you guys think Eddie Thawne's alive? Do you think it's because of the reasons I stated? Do you think it's because of something else? And why do you think his name got changed? Why do you think he's placed in the future? Just comment all your thoughts on that down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.